So, on rewatch, a lot of things are like way too obvious. But, anyways, let's talk about the movie. There's like opening scene. We don't see who killed who in that scene. Because there's, like 3 killers: Tiger Mask, Wolf Mask, and Lamb Mask. Lamb Mask and Wolf Mask get a name. Craig and Tom. But they don't say what Tiger Mask's name is, and he dies like way too quick, to be honest. And he does get a few kills. I'm pretty sure he killed the people in the opening scene, because there's "You're next" written on the wall, and then when he kills the mom, "You're next" is written on the wall. I'm assuming not all 3 of them do the same thing. Maybe Lamb Mask, since we find out Lamb Mask and Tiger Mask are related. They're brothers. So it could have been Lamb Mask in the beginning killing the couple, and then Tiger Mask killing the mom. It was for sure him, though. He had the machete. She had a machete in her face. And he was already in that room. We already knew that from earlier. So, yeah. That was like one of the most fun things that I did on the rewatch of this movie, was just trying to figure out who killed who on the ones that weren't, shown on what person was doing it. Like if someone was like shot outside, like Tariq with a crossbow, trying to figure out who would have done it. Obviously, Tiger Mask couldn't have done that because he was inside the house. So it would have had to be Wolf Mask or Lamb Mask. And we both see them with crossbows. For the little we do see of him, we don't see him with a, crossbow. But he gets killed pretty easily. Eventually, he's like outside for whatever reason. I don't know how he got out there. I don't remember how. And he steps through the window, and then the girl kills him, like really quick. Hits him in the leg, and then just beats him to death. And then that's it for him. He got killed pretty early in too, because Wolf Mask and Lamb Mask get quite a bit of screen time. Then eventually she sets up this trap after that happened, actually, with the nails and boards, and puts it by the window. So when Lamb Mask goes through the window, he steps into it. So then later she kills him because he's limping, not paying attention as much. Though a little bit before that scene, it did confuse me. They don't talk about Crispin. Of course, Crispin is later found out that he was a part of the plan too, along with Felix, and Z. But they're discussing all the money and, who's getting what, how much of, money he's going to give them. And he doesn't mention Crispin, which would make sense, because he's talking about splitting the money. But he doesn't, because we need Crispin to be a twist later. Now, I want to talk about how way too obvious it was in this movie. On my very first watch of this movie, I knew it was Felix and Z were like somewhat in on this, just because they had a sketchy line and the fact that they were acting way different than everybody else. He says that you can buy illegal phone blockers for $30 on the internet. He knows the exact price, and everything. That's like just so weird. That's not even a hint at him being evolved. That's just straight up telling us. Why would he do that? And not to mention everybody's panicking. They're on the ground screaming, crying, arguing, all doing a bunch of different things. And they're all by the dead body of Tariq. Him and Z are just standing. Like nothing's wrong. Talking normally and calmly. They just made it way too obvious for them. Then on rewatch, this was something I didn't really catch. They like really made it obvious that Crispin was involved. Like every time she tries to do something helpful, he tries to talk her out of it. Like, oh, you're locking the windows and shit? That's kind of weird. Oh, you're texting 911? Everyone knows that doesn't work. And just on and on. And even the first scene we're introduced to him in, the girl jokes about his parents being loaded. And he's kind of nervous about it and says, yeah, I guess so. When he knows for sure that's like the whole reason he's killing them. And there's like scenes where people talk to him and he doesn't answer, like his douchebag brother that I forget the name of, who I will talk a bit more about. Yeah, Drake. Drake asked him a question on why someone would do this. And he just doesn't answer. It's very weird. He just kind of looks at him. Like he knows why someone would do this. He's doing this because of money. And then he doesn't answer. So, yeah. Also Drake. I did want to talk about Drake. He makes fun of his brother for being overweight. And just in a rude way, not in a nice sibling teasing way. He fucks with him at dinner in a rude way. And he also, like, kind of harasses his girlfriend. Starts taking her bra off, and when she obviously doesn't want to do it, he's still doing it. And then kind of gives her a look like, oh, you don't want me to be entitled to your body? What the fuck? You're not doing everything that I want? He just seems like a massive dick. And, he's one of the people that isn't a bad guy. And he eventually gets killed by his own brother. And I do think it's a funny scene, but it was kind of goofy that he didn't fight back. I mean, I get like the first 2 stabs, he would be surprised that his own brother is stabbing him. But like the whole point of the joke is that he has to stab him so many times with a bunch of random different weapons, screwdrivers and shit. And he just won't die. But he doesn't just fight back even a little bit. He just stands there and takes it. It's kind of weird. Though I do like that death. It's pretty cool. Oh, and I watched the trailer because I have this on DVD and I had never seen the trailer before. I think it gives way too much away and does not do this movie justice. Just wanted to add that. And Z is also kind of like Drake too, later trying to have Felix have sex with her by his mother's dead body. Which is, fucked, but he wanted his mother dead anyway, and he had her killed. It would be more fucked if they were supposed to be the good people. But, trying to convince them to have sex, just like Dracob's earlier, then getting kind of mad when you realize you're not entitled to someone's body. I don't know why that's in this movie, to be honest. And, I still think Tiger Mask should have stayed longer. He just got killed way too fast. Then, there's obviously the awesome blender kill with Felix and the whole reveal with Crispin near the end of the movie. And he tries to convince her that she was supposed to be like the witness, so she wasn't supposed to die. I think it was pretty obvious that she was supposed to die. Or he would have asked about her on the phone or something. Or the fact that she was attacked multiple times. Like, even before they find out all this crazy shit about her and she kills people and shit, she's just trying to lock a door and they're attacking her. Lock a window, I mean. Probably the funniest thing is the fact that she boils water and then later, obviously it's not hot anymore. So she just throws it at him and it's cold, but he still slips over it after he thinks he's all that. He's like, "Oh, you dumb bitch. It's not even hot." And then he just fucking slips. That whole fight scene was amazing. They weren't experienced fighters, so they weren't very good, but at the same time, she had a disadvantage because all the time she was fighting these experienced killers was that it was one-on-one. But with Felix and Z, it's 2-on-1. So she was a little bit fucked, but not too fucked since she already had good fighting skills. And they didn't. So she kills them in pretty quick fashion in a pretty decently entertaining fight. So I really liked that. And Wolf Mask's death was pretty cool too. Then eventually the movie ends with her, killing Crispin. And by the time she kills Crispin, the cop sees it and assumes she's one of the killers and shoots her after she kills Crispin. But he doesn't say anything. I guess he got to the window right when she stabbed him. And he shoots her or whatever. And then apparently she set a trap by the door. Never saw her do that. And I didn't really see it when Z was messing with the door. Because there's a scene in the movie where Z's supposed to be helping, but she decides not to make another board. And she also unlocks the door and opens it a little bit. And then that goes nowhere, and we don't see the trap there. So when did she set that trap? It's still a pretty cool ending to the movie. Her realizing that the cop's gonna die and, the trap's gonna kill him, and then the movie just ends. There's some pretty cool credits with them showing, like, all the dead characters. But for some reason, they don't show the 3 main killers. Not a single one of them. Not Wolf Mask, Tiger Mask, or I blank on the thing for some reason. Wolf Mask, Tiger Mask, or Lamb Mask. I'm pretty sure they also don't even show the mom, which is weird. And I just found it weird that they gave them names, especially names like Tom and Craig. It makes me curious on what the other one's name is. Like, I don't think it's gonna show. Oh, he's a fox mask? No way. Like, it literally looks like a tiger mask. There's gotta be like some kind of error or something. No way that's supposed to be a fox. It literally looks like a tiger. I also like the fact that even though they're like all cheap masks and this probably would have just been any other basic slasher killer movie, they all had different personalities and were all pretty entertaining. It was just a pretty entertaining movie in general. I love how they didn't just make them basic killers. It's a pretty entertaining movie. And, it's funny too, because it's a horror comedy. I don't think there was one joke I didn't like in this movie because they didn't overdo it on the humor. Because it's still a horror movie at the end of the day. That's something a lot of horror comedies fail to do. Just, still make it scary. They either rely, way too much on the comedy, or not even close enough to the horror, but at least try, unlike most movies. But this movie did great on both. But yeah, that was pretty cool. The fact, though, that they, only revealed 2 of the killer's names showed that they really didn't care about Tiger Mask either. He was just kind of the fall guy, the first one to die, to show you how much of a badass she is. Which is fine and all, I just wish we would have saw a little bit more of him. And yeah, that's about it.